Hi, my name is Nicole and welcome to another flow. Today we are going to be focusing on energizing our bodies. So this is a really great flow for you to do maybe if you are in a midday slump and have some time. It's a really great flow to do in the morning right before you go to work, get yourself pumped and ready for the day. And it's just a wonderful energy build. So this flow is going to take us through two peak poses. Peak poses being our Warrior 3 as well as our standing splits. So if you have some blocks or something that you could use in place of blocks, I highly recommend having them. If you've never done these poses before, I think they're very beneficial. Even if you've done the poses before, I think blocks are a wonderful tool to help us get just a little bit deeper. My dog scares someone else in the pose. So those are the two peak poses that we have going on today. So a lot of energy building is going to come prior to that. We're going to do a lot of sun salutations. And then when it comes to those poses, we're going to focus all that energy that we've built for ourselves and really try to channel it into some really awesome strength training poses. So that is that kind of physical theme, intellectual theme. In terms of a metaphysical theme or a spiritual theme, we can think about this as kind of using the energy of the sun to kind of fuel us for today, especially if you're doing it first thing in the morning and you're waking up with the sun. I mean, this could be a sunrise flow for you. We are doing sun salutations, or it can just be imagining from the roots of your body and coming up just like this beautiful light that starts to build as you kind of flow through your practice, and at the end just like basking in that light. So a couple different themes we have going for today. Again, we're just going to start with some energizing movements. We're going to open up the body a little bit before we get into all that. So turning towards the top of our mat, we're going to bring hands onto the floor of the mat, bring feet behind us coming into our tabletop to start. Before we take any of these movements, we're going to warm up just a little bit. So we're going to drop belly, lift gaze forward, and exhale, round and contract through the spine, pressing into the mats, the shins and the feet, and then coming back, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, big inhale, cat-cow here, exhale round. And again, as always with my flows, feel free to make any movements here that feel good. Maybe you kind of circle the hips as you go. Maybe you pull the pelvis in a little bit extra. Whatever feels good. 2 more rounds of cat-cow. Good, one more. Really nice abdominal stretch and a back stretch. Awesome. We're going to come into our threading of the needle. So right hand is up to the sky. As we exhale, we thread it under our left hand. Left hand comes towards the top of the mat. Holding here 3 deep breaths. Now we are early on in our practice, but if you wanted to challenge yourself here, you can take your left leg and kick it back as high as it can go to kind of give yourself a little balance challenge here. This is thread the needle with one leg extended. One breath. And exhale, bring it down, slow and with control if you can. And then bring that left hand closer to the frame, to the face. Push up from the mat, and we'll just switch sides. Inhaling left hand up. Exhaling down. And as always with any variation that I offer, this is not something that you have to do. Please never feel like you have to do anything. Rather something to try. So it's the same leg that is the extended hand. So in this case, the right leg. So left leg is going to stay. Right leg is going to come up. So high. Or if you are feeling like just holding the thread the needle, that's totally okay. Do whatever feels good for you. 2 more breaths. Exhale, come down. Very good. Bring that hand right back to frame the face, pushing up from the mat, coming back into our tabletop. From here, we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips, come to down dog. Not to stay, we're just going to walk the feet forward here. Coming to a fold forward. Once we're here, we're going to gently push up from the ground, rolling up inch by inch, coming all the way to stand, bringing the hands with us overhead, extending all the way up, fingers, reach and stretch forward. Exhaling, bringing the hands down to frame the pelvis, coming into our Tadasana, our mountain pose. So really grounding through the feet here, keeping a nice straight back. Make sure we're not collapsing into the shoulders, the chest, but rather that the shoulders are pulled back. Scapula is engaged. Our hips are not pressed back and they are tucked in, creating a nice beautiful line here. Palms are facing the top of the mat. And we are rooted down through our feet. All right, so we're going to take a sun salutation. We're going to do it a little bit slow at first, and then we're going to pick up a little bit of speed. We're going to do this 3 times total. So we're going to first inhale, bring hands up overhead, and as we do so, gazing upwards. As we exhale, we come down to fold forward. When we inhale, we bring our hands above our knees, flat back, or you can keep your fingers on the mat and come to flat back. Placing the palms onto the mat, stepping back 1 foot at a time, plank. Exhale all the way down, untuck the toes and lift up, come into a cobra. Exhale back down, tuck the toes, lift through the hips, downward facing dog. Walk the feet or jump if you're feeling like jumping to the top. Come back to that halfway lift, whichever variation you took earlier. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press through the hands, rolling up again, inch by inch, hands up all the way. Palms come to touch, and as we exhale, we bring all of that down to heart center. All right, we're gonna do it 2 more times. Next time, we're gonna do a little bit faster, and then we're gonna do that same thing 1 more time. So you got a couple tries, a couple times that we're gonna take this to really build up the energy, sweat a little bit, and we'll get going. Mountain pose, inhale, bring hands up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press up, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, plank. Fall down to the floor, well not fall, press. Inhale, press up from the mat, cobra. Exhale, back down, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Walk the feet to the hands, fold here. Inhale, lift, halfway, flat back. Then we fold. Messed up a little bit. Press up to inhale, rolling up all the way up. Hands come up, palms touch in prayer. Exhale all that down to heart center. Release to mountain. Very well done, especially with the little extra halfway lift that I gave you. We're gonna do 1 more time, and we're gonna begin again in that mountain pose. So as you're ready, big breath in. Very good. Inhale, hands up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press up, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, palms to the mat, step it back, big breath in. Exhale, come down to the mat, untuck the toes, lift as you inhale. Exhale all the way down, tuck the toes, lift through the hips, down dog. Walk the feet to the mat, or to the hands. Press up, inhale, halfway lift, there we go. Exhale to fold. Inhale to press all the way up, up, up as you stretch all the way up. Palms together, exhale, prayer all the way down to heart center. Release to mountain. Very well done. Make sure you have water near you at all times, especially if you want some right now. The heart's pumping a little bit. We're definitely feeling the energy build at this point, which is awesome. So we're gonna keep the good energy going, good energy flowing. We're gonna inhale, bring the hands up back 1 more time. Exhale to fold, placing hands down and in front of you, stepping back to down dog. And this time you're going to be holding our down dog. So we're warmed up quite a good amount, but we're going to still hold this down dog for 3 deep breaths just to get the back of the legs a nice deep stretch. The chest is being pulled down to the mat, down towards those toes. You're glancing at the toes, and the hips are being pulled up and towards the ceiling in a nice straight line as if someone's pulling us by a string. We're going to hold here 2 deep breaths. Good. On inhale, left foot stays in the mat. Right foot just kicks straight back, trying to keep hips parallel to one another. As we inhale, we're going to guide that knee forward and bend to bring it through to the hands. And exhale, shoot it back. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. Inhale, bring the knee forward. Exhale, shoot it back. Good. Last time, inhale, bring it in, hold. 3, 2, and 1. Shoot it back, look between the hands, and step. Runner's lunge. Okay, This is a point in the flow where if you'd like to grab your blocks out, you're more than welcome to do that. In your runner's lunge, you can always put 2 blocks under the hands, give you a little bit more lift here, take some stress off the wrists. The option is always yours. From this runner's lunge, we're going to press into all 4 corners of the foot. We're going to engage the core, root down through the ball of the foot, and when you're ready, inhale, come up, high lunge. Very good. We're going to have a slight bend in that back knee just to give us a little bit more support here since the heel is off the ground and the hips are facing forward square to the top of the mat. Hands can stay up, or if you're feeling so inclined, you can come into a bit of prayer. You can bring the hands down to the hips. You have a couple options here. All right, so make some room. I'm going to step back a little bit just so I don't hit anything. And we're going to practice our warrior 3. So if you'd like a block, you can place it a couple, like a foot in front of your right foot. And when you're ready, we're going to take a nice big inhale and kick off the ground, keeping a nice round in the spine. And then you're going to bring the hands, if you can, to the sides or keep them up above overhead or even to prayer as you flex that back foot. You can use your block and bring your hands down to that block if you'd like to balance. 2 deep breaths here. Trying to keep a nice straight back. Good. Hands come down to the floor or to your block. And then you are just going to bring your head as close to your right leg as you can as you bring your left leg as high as it can go. And exhale. Bring it down to a fold forward. And you can remove the block, keep the block. You may have some options here. Hold here, 2 deep breaths. And inhale, come up, halfway lift. Give yourself a little bit of a pause. Very good. Palms come down to the mat on the exhale. Step each foot back, 1 by 1. Take a little mini flow here. Inhale, bring yourself to high plank. Pressing into the heels, exhaling all the way down, untucking, inhaling to come up to cobra. Exhale back down, tuck the toes, lift, down dog. Knees to the width of the mat, big toes touch, child's pose. Very good. Now, because this is a more energetic flow, we're not going to be in child's pose for super long. I know I usually go for about 6 deep breaths here. We're going to be here for another 3. So focus on the intention of the class. And obviously, not obviously, as always, if you ever need a break, if you ever need to come down, always come to child's pose. You are always more than welcome to come to child's pose. Listen to your body, not just everything I say. I'm not living in your experience, you are. So I'm just trying to help you guide or get to a specific theme or invitation to explore something with me. But it's really important that you also listen to your body as you do that and take action that aligns with what your body needs. So if you need a break, take a break. You can always pause this video and then come back to it. Listen to your body, do whatever it needs. Take 1 more deep breath in child's pose. And we're gonna do it all in the next side. I mean, look at me, I'm a little out of breath, you know? When we're ready after that breath, you're gonna meet me back in our down dog. So palms to the mat, toes tucked, lift through the hips, back to our down dog. You might notice that if your heels didn't touch the ground, they do now. And we're gonna begin coming into that 3-legged dog. So right leg stays on the mat, left leg comes up, holding for 1 deep breath. Inhale, bring the knee between the hands, shoot it back. On the inhale, I should say. Exhale, bring it in. There we go. Inhale, shoot it back. Last one. Exhale, in. Inhale, shoot it back. Look between the hands. Exhale, step. Runner's lunge. As always, grab those blocks if you need. Slight little baby bend in the back foot, grounding down through the 4 corners of the toes. Engage the core. Lift up, high lunge. Very nice. You can feel free to get that block ready. Again, about a foot out if you used it last time. We are going to be coming into our warrior 3. So we're going to pull the chest slightly forward. And as you lift off with your back leg, lowering down, keeping the arms either out in front of you, to your sides, or at prayer. Trying to straighten the back, looking down towards the ground, flexing the back foot, 3 deep breaths. Good. On the next exhale, bring the hands down to the block or to the floor. And get ready to melt your head towards your leg as you bring your right leg up. Good. 1 breath here. And exhale, bring that leg down straight to come into your fold forward. Now you can let your hands kind of hang here, your head hang. It's a very passive fold forward here. You're going to inhale, come up halfway. Nice flat back, another break, 2 deep breaths. And we're going to take our last flow. So palms come to the mat, step back 1 foot at a time, come into our down dog first and foremost. Inhale, bring the body to high plank. Exhale all the way down to the mat, untuck, lift up, come into cobra. Exhale to come down. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift through the hips, downward facing dog. Gently bring the knees to the mat, big toes touch. Child's pose, 6 deep breaths. So in yoga, we do something called flow to peak, which is very traditional of a workout, but basically in vinyasa especially, you start with a cooler warm-up, and then you kind of build up to this peak pose. You take peak pose, and then you come to a cool down. So we have done the peak, so we've climbed the mountain, right? We have a little bit of baby cool down, because again, the point of this is to kind of get you ready and get you energized. So we are going to take our cool down, we are going to take our shavasana. It's just not going to be as long as normal, because again, we want to use this energy we built to go into the rest of our days. So we get 3 more breaths in this child's pose. You can meet me in Thunderbolt. So you're going to bring the knees together, take a seat on the calves, sit up nice and tall. And we're just going to hold Thunderbolt for 2 deep breaths, really feeling the effects of our practice. If you want to take a bit of a variation, or if your feet, like the bottom of your feet, are feeling a little bit tight, you can lean forward, palms on the ground, tuck your back toes, and I would suggest maybe having blocks if you've never done this before nearby, just to lean in and out of it. Then you're just going to sit on the heels of the feet. Now if you can, we'll hold this for about 2 deep breaths. Very good. If you took the variation, you can bring your hands down to the mat, untuck the toes, tap them out. And if anything, we're going to meet on our sit bones. And we're going to take some easy little spinal twists before we end. So we're going to inhale, hands up, 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 stretching through those fingers. Left hand is going to come down to the right knee. Right hand comes behind and move over right shoulder, 3 deep breaths. Very good. Inhaling to come back up to center. Right hand comes down to the mat. Left hand up and over. 3 more breaths. Good. Inhale, push back up. We're going to do that same 2 poses on the other side. So right hand comes down to the left knee. Left hand comes behind. 3 breaths. Good. Inhaling to come come back to center. On exhale, left hand comes down to the mat, right hand comes up and over, and we just glance towards that right side. 3 more breaths. Very good. Inhaling to come up, and as we come up, we're just going to imagine holding all the energy that we created for ourselves in our hands. If you want to use a little bit more imagery, you can start by bringing hands down beneath the legs. And as you inhale, bring the hands up, imagining a nice white, bright light shooting all the way up your body, all the way up your head until it reaches your crown, extending through your third eye, all the way up in between your hands. As you hold your hands together and press palms to one another, you exhale all of that energy, all that radiance down to your heart center. And as you bow forward, know that it cannot be undone and stays with you forever. Thank you so much for flowing with me. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.